Hey guys, it's Christian from Lost in Discovery and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about MISTBORN Secret History, and I cannot say this enough. I loved this book. Alright, so spoiler warning for people going into this video. I would strongly recommend more than anything that you have read the first trilogy of MISTBORN, The Final Empire, Well of Ascension, and The Hero of Ages. Yes, I know I still have not talked about The Hero of Ages. I have the first review, the second review, and The Hero of Ages is mysteriously missing from my channel. I get asked about this basically every day. What happened was Rhythm of War happened. I got distracted and I find it difficult to talk about, but hopefully this will give you a taste of what could have been and what can be perhaps in the future. So last chance, if you have not read the first trilogy of MISTBORN, this is your last chance to leave the video and save yourself from major spoilers. All right. You either left or you just don't care and you live life on the edge. I respect that. So MISTBORN Secret History tells the events post book 1 of MISTBORN all the way through to the end of Hero of Ages from the perspective of Kelsier. But Christian, didn't Kelsier die? No, he didn't. No, he didn't. You know, Sanderson has talked a lot about how tricky it is to do the whole bring the character back after death thing. But man, he kind of does that a lot. Now, as a person who makes a lot of videos on YouTube about Sanderson's works and the Cosmere in general, I did know that Kelsier was alive in some capacity, but I had no idea of the detail of the goings on post the Final Empire. And I found this to be such an interesting perspective on what was happening. What I realized going into this book straight away was how much I really missed Kelsier and his energy and his charismatic personality. Though coming in with a lot of hindsight and a lot of time to kind of grow and let the story build in my head and certain other things that if you know what I'm talking about, I started to see Kelsier in a bit of a new light here. And there were a few lines in this story that kind of made me think, ooh, we are building to something else here with Kelsier. One of the lines that really stood out to me was this. This was Kelsier's purpose in life, to remind people of the value of the things they loved by taking them away. And I was like, whoa, okay, are we getting like Kelsier villain origin story? Because Sanderson always talks about this. He always says like Kelsier is not exactly the best dude. He's not exactly like the hero that everyone thinks. There's a darker side to him, and it's so hard not to talk about things outside of this book, but I won't. It's really cool to see how Kelsier's darker side kind of came out in little moments throughout this story. And what was really cool to see was the cognitive realm of Skaterol, which is the world of MISTBORN. And it was so cool to see how the laws of the Cosmere are basically consistent across all Cosmere series. Like the rules in Shadesmar seem to pretty much apply to the cognitive realm in MISTBORN, and I found that so damn interesting to read about. Another thing that of course you're going to get with every Cosmere book is an appearance from Hoid. I will say that it was legendary. It just felt like as a Cosmere fan, this was like such a treat to read. This was like Sanderson's love letter to people like us who are so into this entire world, and he did not hold back in giving us people from other planets, clues to how things connect to other series, and clues to how things are working with the vessels of shards. Another thing I didn't really expect to do when reading this book was cry. And I did. Sanderson, I don't know, man. I tend to cry in his novels. I know that's not that. Is that a common thing? I found myself obviously crying like a baby at the end of Hero of Ages, but to relive that ending from a different perspective and to get even more about that ending completely broke me down. And I was like, man, I forgot how much this ending hit me and how much I just love the original MISTBORN trilogy. Before I jump into full spoiler chat, I will say that this has given me so much to work with for lore videos. You have no idea what's coming. This channel is about to step it up in terms of lore videos. I have huge things planned, but they are going to happen in the background while I make these smaller videos because damn, they're going to take some work. All right, the rest of this video is going to be a spoiler chat about the finer details of Mistborn Secret History. If you have read the original trilogy and you want to see what Kelsier was up to during that trilogy after his death, read this book right after you read Hero of Ages, in my opinion. Apparently there's some minor spoilers for the second trilogy, but come on, man. Read it now. Read it now. You'll love it. It enhances my whole view of the entire trilogy, and I feel like it's not essential, but now that I've read it, it feels essential to the original trilogy. All right, let's move on to spoiler chat for Mistborn Secret History. So only stay if you've read it, or if you just want to hear if you don't really care about spoilers. One of my favorite things in this book was to get a closer chat with Preservation, or the vessel of Preservation, you might want to say. It was really interesting hearing from this Shard's perspective before we know that Sazed takes up Ruin and Preservation. It was cool to see more of an understanding of how Preservation worked, and it's cool to see how much it was kind of passed around between people before it ended up getting into Sazed. And what tickled my Cosmere nerd enthusiasm was finally seeing Naz in a story. I was so excited to see this. I got so excited, unreasonably excited to see him and Chris, who I've heard about through reading the Coppermind and stuff. If you don't know, Naz is a kind of like a map maker slash diagram drawer. There's definitely a word for this, and I just sound dumb for not knowing. Naz has shown up in the Stormlight Archive. If you look at the maps of Shadesmar in the Stormlight Archive, or even some of the Shardbearer stances, you'll know that Naz was there. He's annotating a lot of the stuff, and he's very involved with seeing what Shallan is up to on Roshar. So it was so cool to see Kelsier meet Naz, and that Naz and Chris seem to have some sort of relationship with Hoyd, but who doesn't at this point? Yeah, I absolutely loved their appearance. It was very cool seeing this sort of glowing gem device these other beings had in order to take up a shard. Were these people from the Elantris series? I couldn't quite make out exactly where these people in the cognitive realm were from, but I enjoyed seeing Kelsier absolutely mess with them, sticking his lips through walls and pretending to be Rowan was so much fun. But I'm mostly intrigued about whatever this orb was that allows you to take up a shard. I feel like that is going to come up again, especially in the Stormlight Archive. Now, what destroyed me completely was seeing Elend and Vin show up in the cognitive realm before finally passing into the Beyond, and actually having the chance to go back and be okay and live out their lives together on a healed new schedule, but they chose to die together. It was their choice. They wandered into the Beyond together, and those final words, and just like the last hug between Vin and Kelsier, and Vin's last words for Kelsier sent chills down my spine. And I feel like without Vin, sometimes to bring Kelsier down to earth, bad things are going to happen with him. It's going to be very exciting, so damn exciting to see what happens with Kelsier, and I cannot wait to make the video on Kelsier. It's going to be crazy, guys. I promise it's going to be great. But yeah, those were the main key moments for me. It was very fun seeing Kelsier's little adventure, and kind of like an origin story for Kelsier. I really feel like this is just the beginning of him in the Cosmere. He is going to be a mainstay just as much as Hoyd is to the end game of the entire Cosmere series. That's my prediction. I hope you liked my quick thoughts on Mistborn Secret History. I'll be going into more detail on a Kelsier video I am planning on making. I'm very happy to say I have some time off from my job, and I'm going to be pursuing YouTube at a much fuller pace and a much fuller rate, and I'm gonna have some big videos planned. I can't wait to get them to you. It might take a little bit of time because I'm aiming very high and probably in way over my head, but I cannot wait to share with you what I'm going to be working on over the next few weeks. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the few amount of people that are still here who have read the book and are interested enough to get to the end. And yeah, I'll see you soon with a new video. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.